Donald Trump. Is he about to get arrested? Is this another attempt, by liberals and the deep state to silence the people's hero, the one who wants to make America great again, and to stop him from returning to the presidency they stole from him? No, he's just a very bad man who did very bad things, and it has all finally caught up with him. And quite honestly, if this isn't the one that does it for him, there are many, many more waiting in line.
We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
Love him or hate him, Trump is a master communicator and knows how to stir the masses. He's provided a voice to millions of Americans who did not feel seen or heard by the career politicians, the ones that were meant to represent them. The sheer fact that he became the president of the United States is still mind-boggling to political experts and politicians from both sides. Except for Michael Moore. Michael Moore saw it coming.
On November 8th, the dispossessed will walk into the voting booth, be handed a ballot, close the curtain, and take that lever, or felt pen or touchscreen, and put a big fucking X in the box by the name of the man who has threatened to upend and overturn the very system that has ruined their lives. Donald J. Trump.
And that was all him. There is no denying it. Well, with a little bit of help from the Russians, as it turns out, and a whole lot of help from a political system where the person who gets the most votes doesn't necessarily win the elections, because if they did, Hillary Clinton would have won. Let me be perfectly clear here. This is not about politics at all. It is not about Republicans versus Democrats or anything like that. Now, let's face it, Trump did run for the Republicans, but he's hardly one of them. I mean, he makes it a point to say he's an outsider, and he likes it that way. Everyone thought or hoped that once Trump became president, he would feel the weight of the job and the responsibility that fell upon him and become more, subdued, if you will. But that never happened, did it? He just treated the whole thing like the US was now part of the Trump organization and he was their CEO. Well, their king would be more like it, wouldn't it? Because he did not think the rules and the laws applied to him at all. He just ran with it. Well, that is apparently how he ran the Trump organization in the first place, so nothing new there. And as a result, for the first time in history, a former president may be about to be prosecuted. The first of many cases that are being raised against him. So what exactly did he do to get himself prosecuted? Well, for this particular case, he paid off a porn star so she would be quiet about their affair, which he denies, even though he did pay. Because we all pay for stuff we didn't do, right? And okay, there is nothing illegal about that. What's illegal was how the lawyer that paid the porn star created these phony invoices regarding a retainer agreement. And then Trump handed him a few checks that he himself signed while he was already in the White House. But there was no retainer agreement. All of this was just to cover up their hush money scheme. And in the state of New York, it is a crime to falsify business records. So there you have it. Is this case weak? Yes, because unless they can prove that the defendants created the fake records with an intent to commit or conceal another crime, it's only a misdemeanor. So that is why the grand jury hasn't really come up with a decision yet on the indictment. And in my opinion, that is exactly why Trump has been stirring up his supporters, to intimidate the grand jury to decide against indictment to prevent another mutiny. Because we all know how often he's used the bully pulpit, social media, or his influence as a US president, really, to get ahead, to intimidate witnesses, to bully people, or just spread disinformation.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to
go.
ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state?
Like that time where he denied monetary support to Ukraine unless Zelensky agreed to investigate Hunter Biden? Yeah, that rings a bell. Or when he used a presidential pardon to pardon all his cronies. If only he could have pardoned himself in advance. I bet he did think about it, like that time when he wanted to award himself a Medal of Honor and they didn't let him. Ugh, so unfair. Trump got many things wrong during his presidency, like his racism and xenophobia, how he tear-gassed Black Lives Matter supporters so he could do a photo op, the way he dealt with the whole pandemic thing, and the lies. He lied more than he told the truth, I think. People counted them. Did you know that in the 4 years he was in office, Donald Trump stated 30,573 false or misleading claims? And then there was the whole stolen election debacle and consequent Capitol riot he incited. Of course he needed to win the elections. He knew they would come after him for all that crap he pulled the minute he would leave the White House. He knew that one thing is a reality TV persona lying to get bank loans and lying to the IRS, but it is a completely different thing to be a former US president that's about to seek re-election. But did anyone with a brain really believe that would happen? That the world would even accept a US government that wasn't legally elected? So there we had it, a US president in office trying to bulldoze over the most essential laws of his country for his own personal gain. Just like he had done the whole time he was in office. And there he was, watching Americans hurting and killing other Americans. Watching American citizens hurting and killing American law officers, of whom he was supposed to be the biggest supporter ever. And what did he do? Absolutely nothing. Even if you believe he did not intend to cause a riot, he sure as hell did not mean to stop or end it, let me tell you. And he was the only one that could have done it. So why is he trying to cause another riot? Asking people to come to Mar-a-Lago and protest. Because we have seen what his supporters' protests look like, right? He picked and chose some of these Supreme Court judges. He politicized the DOJ and placed people of his choosing in high places and fired anyone who wouldn't do his bidding. So what is he afraid of? That his crimes have finally caught up with him? That the evidence is so clear that he won't be able to weasel his way out of it like he always does? But is he afraid at all? You see, with all this, he is making tons and tons of money. With the big elections got stolen plot, he was shooting messages left and right to his supporters asking for money for months. And he got it, loads and loads of it. And now, with his impending indictment and arrest, he's already asking people to donate, to fight the witch hunt, this incredible injustice, to fight the deep state that wants to silence him, etc., etc., etc. Guys, he keeps talking about how rich he is. Surely you need your hard-earned money much more than he does. And if he's not rich as he claims, well, he did overcharge the United States of America for each time he stayed at one of his own resorts. For his stay and the security office's stay and whomever else came along. Surely that has made him a lot of money. There's been all sorts of reports that he wants to be handcuffed when he's presented to a judge, to fire up his supporters. He just wants this whole thing to be a spectacle, much like everything else he does. So people will just eat it all up and, of course, donate, donate, donate. Whatever happens in the near future, regardless of whether he is indicted or not this time, Trump must be feeling the pressure. As we speak, he's being investigated for overvaluing his assets by billions of dollars while dealing with lenders and insurers, and undervaluing his assets by billions of dollars to the IRS to pay less taxes. Why would he fight so hard not to present his tax returns if he didn't do it? All presidents present their tax returns. It's what he signed up for. Why would he refuse? Because he does not want us to know what he's declaring. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, he's being investigated on whether or not he interfered with the 2020 elections. He asked Georgia officials to fix the elections for him. Does that sound like a guy who truly believes he won the elections? He's also being investigated about his role in the January 6th Capitol riot, of course, and most recently, the whole classified documents he decided to bring home as souvenirs that he says are declassified because he said so, and he's the president. Or was the president. Well, he says he still is the president. I don't know. I'm just confused. So yeah, who knows what he'll try to do to stay above the law? Will he make a run for it? Will he declare himself unfit to stand trial? There's a lot of things he did that could actually prove that theory. Will he try another coup? How many people will get hurt and possibly die until he's finally brought to justice? Republicans, of course, are trying to convince you that this is politically driven, but we all know it's not. Trump is their golden goose. Of course, they will do everything to keep him. Just the fact that they kept him from being impeached twice after everything he did, the proof was undeniable. They just chose to disregard it. They don't care about anyone other than themselves, not the US or the people who elected them. And Trump, well, he clearly does not care what burns or who gets hurt as long as it's not him. He is polarizing an entire country, dividing it into two for his own personal gain. He is feeding off people's fears and making promises he can't keep so he can continue to profit off of them. That's how he's rewarding these people's love and devotion, with constant donation requests to fill his own pockets. And this guy thinks he should be the next US president. Again, it is a very scary notion, let me tell you. But, shame on you if you fool me once, shame on me if you fool me twice, I guess. We'll just have to see what the future brings. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.